Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with the CPC, almost a D League. I think I got a bad habit of that, but we are here for the CPC Majors Season 6, Week number 2, and we're taking on Narth Vader and his Scarborough Star Raptors. Prep talk video went up yesterday, so go check that out if you haven't. Figure out what team, why we're bringing this team, and what each month's role is, I suppose. We've got Mega Gallade, Tapu Fini, Licky Licky, Bronzong, Thunderous, Therian, and Gligar. And my opponent chooses to bring the Celesteela, Mega Manectric, Salazzle, Crocodile, Terrakion, and Comfey. So right off the bat, I noticed that he brought both of his Intimidate users, which I predicted he wouldn't bring. I predicted he would bring at least one Mega Manectric. I didn't expect both, so that's huge, because I do bring physically offensive offense in terms of like actual offense. Like Tapu Fini is not actual offense, so it does have special attacking moves, but you know what I'm saying. So we have a brief overview of my team. We've got a Swords Dancing Mega Gallade, Nature's Madness, Taunt, Dual Stab, Tapu Fini, Licky Licky with Wish Protect and Knockoff, Stealth Rocks, Gyro Ball, pretty standard set on Bronzong with the Cobra Berry, so that in case that in the very rare case that he brought Crook, which he did, I could come in and switch out versus it, and if he clicks Pursuit, I could potentially survive depending on how much health I'm at, thanks to my Cobra Berry, which allows me to semi-check some other of his other Pokemon, and especially Comfey, and some bench threats that he didn't bring. So I think that was pretty important. And our Thunderous Therian is an agility, life orb, physically offensive set, adamant nature, max attack, pretty dope. And then we got the Gligar, which is a Swords Dance Baton Bassin variant. And the general idea of the team was to Swords Dance up with Gligar and Baton Pass out into Mega Gallade or Thunderous Therian and really start ripping through his team. After an agility with Thunderous Therian, I'm outpacing, up to Scarf Salazzle, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's the case. And then Tapu Fini is basically physically defensive, and then Licky Licky specially defensive. Bronzong's actually a mixed defensive set. And then Gligar is also a mixed defensive set, leaning more towards the Spadef side, but its defense is more naturally bulkier than the Spadef side, so it's basically a very, very solid mixed defense bond in this matchup. However, I do expect things like Mega Manectric, Salazzle to pack the Hidden Power Ice, and then there's the Celesteela, which could throw off a lead seed and be annoying that way, especially passing into things like Crocodile, which can intimidate Gligar, and outside of like a Swords Dance and Earthquake set, I'm not really a threat to a Crocodile, especially when it could be bulked up itself or something like that. But I expect it to be something like Taunt, Stealth Rocks, Earthquake Knockoff. I think that would be a pretty cool set. Could be a Chople Berry variant. Salazzle could be a Scarf variant that it would outspeed all my potential Scarf users. Mega Manectric's probably a Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice set, and perhaps carries Flamethrower but doesn't necessarily need it. And then Celesteela is, like I mentioned, could be a Leech Seed set, could be a Autotomize set, which is a little bit less likely because I do have Thunderous Therian, I do have Tapu Fini with Haze and stuff like that, potentially. I don't bring Haze on Fini, but I could potentially have brought it. So lots of different things my opponent could be. And then Terrakion could be a number of things. It's a Z-move user, I believe. And it could be, Rockium Z, can be Titanium Z, or some kind of coverage. Or it could just be like a Rock Polish or a Stealth Rock set. Or it could be a Choice Band set, Choice Scarf set. I think Choice Band is really nice in this matchup. It just nukes, my entire team, really. I don't have the best resist. And then, like, his team supports, beating down Bronzong so that Stone Edge spam is a lot more spammable. And yeah, so I think that's a potential bring. And then Comfy could be a number of things. Could be a lead seed set, synthesis set, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss set, anything. So we gotta look out for that. I think Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Hidden Power Fire is a pretty cool set. Can potentially break through my team if Bronzon's weakened. But yeah, that's gonna be the team preview, team matchup, whatever. I think his two Stealth Rockers, being Crocodile and Terrakion, are deterred by my Tapu Fini. So Tapu Fini is actually a pretty cool lead for me, except for the fact that he has two other Pokemon that could be potential leads in Mega Manectric and Salazzle, both of which match up pretty well against Tapu Fini. So I felt like my best lead was probably Gligar, because I felt I could force a switch on 3 of his 6 Pokemon, whereas the rest of my team didn't fare that well versus in matchup wise versus those outside of Mega Gallade. But I didn't want to lead with Mega Gallade on the case that he led with Mega Manectric or Comfy. So yeah, I'm definitely just going to lead here with Tapu, or not Tapu, but the Gligar. So he actually leads with his Mega Manectric here, the dangers of alcohol. And what he's going to be able to do is he's going to be able to Mega Evolve and get the Intimidate off. He can click Protect to make sure that he gets an Intimidate off and then can switch out or something like that. Or he can just click Hidden Power Ice here. He can hard switch into Celesteela or something, predicting the Earthquake. Because the Earthquake's looking pretty free here. He doesn't have a solid switch in outside of Celesteela, besides like Crocodile. But like I mentioned, a Swords Dance's variant of Gligar could break through Crocodile anyway. So I think Celesteela is a pretty good switch in here. And I'm going to click Knockoff, predicting him to switch out, not wanting to take the Earthquake damage, which would be put him in range of like a +2 Shadow Sneak from Mega Gallade, or like a Thunderbolt, or Focus Blast, or Psychic, or Brick Breaker, Thunderbolt, or Thunder Punch from Thunderous Therian, Earthquake from Bronzong, and stuff like that. Puts him in range of being 2-hit KO'd by Leaky, and potentially Tapu Fini as well. So I don't expect him to stay in here and take the Earthquake. Even though he would intimidate me, I would still get a lot of chip damage off. So I'm going to click the Knockoff here as my opponent goes straight for the Hidden Power Ice. And I get a nice 10% off with the Knockoff there. So I'm going to switch out into Bronzong here. I can get my Stealth Rocks up. I didn't expect him to be Flamethrower, but he does reveal it. And it does way over half. I knew I could live the hit regardless, even an overheat. As long as you didn't get like a crit or like a max roll, I was going to survive any one hit there. However, he does go for the Flamethrower. It does a big chunk as I get my Stealth Rocks up. But Stealth Rocks are huge there. I really needed those. Unfortunately, this was a recreation battle. We played our first match, and Narth eVader timed out after like 40 minutes of not being around. I turned the timer on, and the timer ran down to the final 5 minutes, and I was declared winner at like 7:02 on Sunday PM or something like that, EST time. And I claimed victory. And then Narth, he had reasoning behind his absence and not being able to play at the moment. I'm not sure what the reasoning was. It was personal. He talked to the moderators about it, the commissioner and whatnot, and they gave me the option to recreate or take the forfeit win. And I had already taken the forfeit win, but I felt the game was still way competitive, because at the time of the, I'll explain more later when we get to that point in the match. The reason I'm explaining right now is because in the first match, he did not get the burn on the Flamethrower. So Bronzon's doing significantly less with Earthquake and Gyro Ball to these other Pokemon. Just wanted to point that out. And if it was to come into play, I'll have to talk about why we may make some weird plays later on. But yeah, we recreated the battle from I think the score was 5-4 at the time, and we recreated the battle. And yeah, I'll explain later on when we get to that point. But yeah, in the first match, he did not get the burn here. In our first attempt at the recreation, he brought Mega Manectric as an immediate Mega, so we had to immediately forfeit that match. And then this is the final match here. So if you see like 6 replays, not really 6, but there's 3 replays I think between us. The one that happened the latest is obviously the one that is the current replay, and funky plays are due to trying to make up for things that didn't happen in the first match. So here, I'm gonna switch out to Licky Licky here. I can take a flamethrower, hidden power ice, or a thunderbolt really easy. I'm max SPDF here, and I'm just gonna throw off a wish. See, I could have scouted going in Tapu Fini there and throwing up the misty terrain, and then going into Licky Licky. But I felt like if he had Volt Switch, I would lose a lot of momentum. So here I'm just going to throw off a wish and then a frustration as he predicts my Gligar and goes for the hidden power ice. I get a huge hit off, and then he finally Volt Switches out to Terrakion as I actually throw up a wish here. So I can hard switch out into my physically defensive Tapu Fini, and I can take any one hit here. And he actually gets a critical hit here, and that didn't happen in the first match. And I didn't even realize that happened in the second match. Damn, Tapu Fini's eating hits. For real. And this is a choice banded Terrakion. I'm pretty certain this was choice banded Terrakion. So here he's forced to switch out. He can't really take a hit. I'm just going to throw off a Surf there because he didn't have a switch into Surf. He has no water resist on his team. And he has 2 fairy resist. So I decided to throw off a Surf there. And here I taunt him as he goes for the Leech Seed. And I revealed to be faster, but he's got 2 healing moves, so he's able to out-prioritize me a couple times, or many times in this match. I'm just going to throw off some Surfs here, and he's going to bring in this Celesteela, and predicting the Protect, I'm going to go ahead and throw off a Surf, and then reveal Taunt once again, letting him know that I won't let him do anything funky. But he predicts that too, both good reads there, and he goes for the Air Slash and gets some chip damage off. And now he hard switches back out into the Comfy, and we get a nice 26% off there, and he's at 10%, but able to get that prioritizing synthesis up, and gets out of range here. So we should have clicked Taunt there to prevent the second one, but here he's able to get up 2 syntheses, and it puts us in a bad position. And he's able to Draining Kiss here. We're just going to throw off a Moonblast, try to get these special attack drops. In the first match, we actually didn't get them, but it's not actually going to matter in the end, I don't think. He's going to be able to take these pretty comfortably. I'm taking his pretty comfortably, especially thanks to the special attack drop. And I'm going to get him down to a range where he's either going to be forced to switch out, or I'm going to try to make a play here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out to my Bronzong here and try to get some offensive momentum as he goes out into his Crocodile. In the initial match, I wasn't burned, so that's important. That Gyro Ball would have did a lot more to Comfy since I wasn't burned. And here I'm just going to throw off some Gyro Balls. In the first match, I was able to bring him down to around 51-55% with my Gyro Balls. And I'm able to get him pretty close there as he continuously sets up rocks. He knocked me out with Knockoff the first time, and now he goes for the Knockoff here as I knock him out with the Moonblast. And as long as Moonblast still picks up the knockout, there was no need to try to recreate from the burn issues on the Bronzong. So here he goes out into his Comfy, and I'm just going to click Taunt here. I'm going to remember my mistake that I made the first time he brought this thing in. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to set up for the Thunderous Therian sweep. So we're coming up on the initial time that we had to restart the match, because right here he knocks out my Tapu Fini, which is fine. He wasn't supposed to synthesis there, but he actually ends up being at around the same health he was supposed to be at anyway. He was supposed to be at 46, but he ends up at 49, which is still fine, no big deal. And here is where the recreation is going to come into play. I'm going to click Wish here, and my opponent clicks Synthesis. So I click Wish, my opponent clicks Synthesis here, and then my opponent timed out for over 40 minutes. So we had to take a forfeit win there, but we're able to recreate here and finish this nice competitive match I wanted to play out. And I throw off a Wish into my Gligar, and immediately I'm going to set up a Swords Dance, knowing I can take any hits from this thing because I'm SPDF. And I'm going to Baton Pass out into my Thunderous Therian as he goes into his Celesteela. So here I have a great matchup. But unfortunately, I am lead seeded, so he can click Protect here. And if he does, I'm still going to be in an advantageous position because I'm clicking Agility here so that I can outpace everything. I don't mind if he clicks Protect. I don't mind if he switches out. What I'm going to do here is click in Agility So I'm faster than everything on his entire team. I'm at +1 attack, and I can knock everything on his entire team out here. So that's what I'm going to try to do. He goes into the comfy, predicting my, I was so close to clicking Thunder Punch there and risking the roll on the Mega Manetric. But I decided not to, and he's going to be able to play with the Intimidate and put me back at neutral attack. So really solid playing on his part, able to get all of those right, all of those plays right, and put me in position to where priority Draining Kiss can knock me out. So here I'm going to go into Licky, and I'm going to throw off another Wish. And I can click Protect here, but the switch into Terrakion would be so problematic for me that I have to switch into Gligar here, take the hit or the Leech Seed, and get the Wish back. I had to do that, unfortunately. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click the Swords Dance and hard switch into Mega Gallade. I mean, not hard switch. What in the hell? Why would I do that? I'm going to Baton Pass out into Mega Gallade, and then I'm just going to click that Zen Headbutt and pick up a knockout here. I figured that, okay, so he's going to bring in the Salazzle, and using Tailwind, he's going to outspeed me anyway, so I'm not sure exactly why he went for Tailwind. Maybe for Terrakion. But here I'm going to go out into Gligar to see if I can live the Flamethrower hit, but he actually reveals the Hidden Power Ice, and I think if he's able to knock out my Mega Gallade here, he can, he's going to pick up the victory here. And we were too low, just a little bit too low on our health to survive the hit there. However, if we had, been able to live, or had we been able to maybe brought Shadow Sneak, I think maybe a +2 Shadow Sneak would have potentially been able to knock out a Salazzle. I'm not sure, I didn't run the calcs on it, but it was close. So maybe had we been a different Gallade set, we could have brought it back, maybe with Shadow Sneak, and then I'm pretty sure +2 close combat's going to be able to knock out the Celesteela and the Terrakion. Terrakion revealed to be banded, so we were going to outpace that and knock it out. So I think that would have been pretty cool to see had we been able to get the Mega Gallade sweep there. Or had we finished out the Thunderous Therian sweep. I was pretty hype about that. Unfortunately, he did bring both Intimidate users, so it was a little bit harder to use Thunderous Therian, especially both Intimidate users being natural checks to my stab, with Mega Manetric being an electric type, and then Crocodile being a ground type. So yeah, maybe Thunderous Therian was, too big of a risk to bring the set that I brought, and maybe I should have brought a different set. I thought about bringing Kartana. It seemed like a cool bring, but he did have Celesteela. He did have a potential Choice Scarf Salazzle that could always revenge kill and stuff like that. So yeah, it was still a pretty good game, and I feel like despite the early letting Gligar take 60% from the Hidden Power Ice, and then switching into Bronzong and letting it lose 60% on the Flamethrower, when I could have potentially avoided that and maybe went into Licky, prevented the poison on Licky by going into Tapu Fini and getting the Misty Terrain first, and then going back into Licky on the electric type attack. So yeah, I think I didn't play as aggressive as I should have, and as what's the word? Opportunistic. I think that's a good word. I didn't play as well as I should have, I don't think, and it leads to Narth eVader. Narth eVader picking up the 3-0 victory here, when I felt like the matchup was even, and it come down to how we prepped and how we both played, and Narth played pretty well. So, and definitely in the end game, using the Intimidate to go back and forth and neutralize Thunderous Therian and effectively make it not a threat. So that's pretty dope. So yeah, good game to Narth, and good luck the rest of the season, my man. And we'll be moving on to 0-2 with a -4 differential, and we got a lot of work to do. So I got to catch back up, potentially finish 9-2, or not 9-2, but 8-2 potentially. But that's the best we can do at this point, is finish 8-2. So we still got it though. It's still possible. But yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you thought about the battle and the prep and stuff. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.